is up, crust punk junkies, anarchists, and grind heads? Today I'm going to be doing another epic Reddit tier list ranking video on one of my favorite bands of all time, Assück. It's not actually pronounced Assück due to the umlaut with the U, and it's not a portmanteau of ass and suck. It's ass fuck, as they said in an interview once, I believe. I don't really care if you pronounce it that way. I just like to correctly pronounce it. And one other thing, I'm not going to be ranking their one live album they did and a couple other splits. But yeah, let's jump right into it. Alright, start off with their 1988 demo, Born Backwards. So this is really lo-fi, really punky, and a bit less serious than their later releases. You can see this with the title track, with the goddamn cowbell. Everyone talks about that, and rightfully so. But I feel like the most funny part to me has to be that one song, the Midwest emo intro.
Just a young boy growing up in the cities, I had assumed a lot of responsibilities at church. One Sunday afternoon, I took my Sunday school.
I wouldn't say this is a bad start or anything, but it's definitely not their best work by far. So I'll put it in like C. Step we have here is Necro Salvation, their first EP. It has a lot of hallmarks from their earlier demo, that being a bit less serious. I think there's the return of the cowbell. More indistinguishable vocals. It has a bit better production, but not by much. Iconic tracks here. We have Fish Factory, which is used in a skater video. And Civilization Comes, Civilization Goes, which is definitely my favorite track by them. But yeah, also, I think Paul hits his lowest note on Infant's side. But yeah, I would say this is a pretty good step up from their first demo, so I'll put it here. I don't feel like they really hit their mark here. It's very reminiscent to bands like Terrorizer, Repulsion, and Agathocles. But that brings us to their split with Old Lady Drivers, or OLD. It has better production, it's more intricately played, and just has more interesting song structure. I do like that intro sample to World Confusion.
That there's no way to cause pain and suffering in an attempt to alleviate pain and suffering for another species.
They would later re-record, I think, most material on here. Also talking about OLD's side, it's definitely an interesting sound. I do like it. That alarm guitar tone, I'm pretty sure the drums are programmed, and super high-pitched vocals. This is a very strange band. They started out as a comedic grind band and then switched to a more experimental industrial rock sound. But yeah, I would say this is a step up from their first two releases here. I'll put this in like A. Next up, we have their excerpt from Blurg, the record, which is a compilation featuring a bunch of hardcore bands. It's really short. It's just a re-recording with All of Shame from the first demo. I think it's alright. It doesn't really hit or anything, so I'm going to put it on C. Alright, now we have their debut album, Anti-Capital, and this is where things get really good. I would describe this as a grind album in the style of Autopsy, Early Bolt Thrower, and Master. You know, there's groovy parts, there's parts where it slows down, but overall you get the sense that everyone's on speed and it goes 1,000 miles per minute. The drumming's really tight on this. Rob Proctor is probably my favorite metal drummer of all time. Paul's vocals on this are a lot more pronounced, but still rapid fire and kind of growly. The guitar work is exceptional. Speaking of lyrics, I would probably say this is one of the best bands to have political songs. They strayed away from the misogyny and gore of early releases, and every song on here is about like different political topics. And I think they're done exceptionally well. There's no instances of like awkward communication or anything. They're just really damn good. Yeah, I'll definitely put this in S tier. I forgot to mention just how good Civilization Comes, Civilization Goes is. It has the national anthem in it. And it's super catchy, along with State to State, Page by Page, Spiritual Manipulation. Every song on there is exceptional. There's not a single dud. But now moving on to the Blind Spot EP. I think of this more as an expansion to Anti-Capital. It's groovy, it's technical. Every song on there is dynamic. That one breakdown part in Spine where it's like it's also believed that Chris Barnes of Cannibal Corpse fame features on this version of Infanticide, or Paul maybe learned that technique. Either way, I think it's just the better version of the song. I'm just gonna rank this my same amount of enjoyment as Anti-Capital. Now we have the State to State EP. This is just a couple songs off of Anti-Capital with the inclusion of that one spoken word segment poem thing at the end. I won't be counting it because I don't usually count interludes and I classify it as an interlude, but I will say it's pretty haunting. It's about the Yugoslav wars that were happening at the time.
Once brothers become statesmen, become murderers. There is no liberty in the gouged out eyes of the children of Vukovar. One can find no nationalistic pride in the terrorized faces of the city of rubble.
But yeah, since it's a nice slice of Anti-Capital, so I'll just put it in A. Alright, next up, finally, we have their second and final album, and arguably a bit more popular than Anti-Capital, Misery Index. I think of this as much more heavier in terms of sound and structure than Anti-Capital. For example, Salt Mine, which is also the first song I heard by them. This beginning part sounds straight out of Vicarious Contempt by Internal Bleeding or Effigy of Forgotten by Suffocation. I also think this is a lot more apocalyptic than their first album in terms of vibe, I guess. Not in the nihilistic sense, I mean more that if we don't react fast to our current conditions, then we're going to cease as a species. You can see this in songs like Summon Substance in the lyrics there. Honestly, this is like same amount of enjoyment as Anti-Capital. I know people usually prefer Paul instead of Steve. I think they're both equally gifted in terms of vocals. Steve is crazy with guitar and doing those vocals at the same time. But yeah, I just like both of them about as much. I probably prefer Anti-Capital a little over Misery Index, but that's just only like probably what I feel that day. Now we have their last release, which is Alabaster from the 4-3 comp. Really anthemic song to go off of, and a damn one to end a career to. I'll rank this an A. It really fits at home with the Misery Index sound. Alright, here's my finalized ranking of their releases. Just an exceptional run. Now on to my band recommendations. Similar bands. First up, we obviously got Misery Index. They got their name from the album. A little more hardcore leaning than grind, and I mean that in a general sense, not in the beatdown hardcore sense. It's still political lyrics. I would give them a recommendation, especially the first couple albums. Then we got Insect Warfare, a bit less subtle in lyrics, more ignorance in sound. I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just like really grisly, heavy, you know. Funny thing, I first heard about this band through my guitar teacher because we were talking about this melodic metalcore deathcore band called Rocket Launcher, and he said, "Wow, this sounds like grindcore. Do you know what that is?" And I said, "Do you mean like Napalm Death?" And he looked it up on YouTube, and one of the first results he clicked was an EP by them. And that's how I first heard about the band. What the fuck, bro? Why are you eating me? Next up we have Death Toll 80K. Similar sound to Insect Warfare. I think they're from Sweden, Finland. Just great stuff. Another one, interesting pick, is Evolution, specifically their demo era. It's kind of like Anti-Capital without that grind influence. I would recommend it. Their full release, they kind of pivot to a different sound, but they're still a great band to check out. I forgot to mention a few, so I'll rapid fire a couple here. Fiend from California, super disgusting and blasty. Humor remains. Avant-garde, weird stuff. Very technical. Guitar work, kind of like Buckethead to me. They share some members from Discord and Axis. Also sharing a couple members from that band is Hayo Daisuke. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Super thrashy stuff and catchy. They only put out like 2 EPs. But they're really damn good. And lastly, Thorazine, which is named after a schizophrenia medication, and it shows that in its music, slightly melodic, but just crazy stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you had a nice Easter if you celebrate the Easter Bunny or Jesus or both. I'm not judging. And yeah, have a nice day. See you later.